Alright, so I'm gonna be ranking all the chest openings because you guys gotta learn which ones are good and which ones are trash. Alright, but first, I gotta make some ground rules. So the basis for ranking is gonna be like, does it get you into a good middle game position, obviously? And how hard is it to learn and master that opening? You know what I'm saying? Because I've studied some openings where I would legit learn lines for hours a day, for weeks, and barely crack a dent to the opening. Like, so if you guys study that much, it's probably not worth it. Huh? Also, check out my Twitch with actual funny games on like all these NPCs everywhere. Alright, so first thing first, we got 5 categories. So we got S tier, we got respectable, we got decent, we got Y, and we got trash. Alright, so going from bottom up, we got trash. So trash is obviously trash. Then we got Y, like it's not trash, but it's like, why are you playing that opening? There's so many better openings. Then we got decent, decent opening, decent, but they're still better. Like then there's respectable. Like if you're playing this, I respect you. Like that's a dang good opening. And then we got S tier. S tier is the creme of the crop. You know what I'm saying? Like S tier is just the best openings. You know what I'm saying? Alright. So we're gonna start with trash. First of all, the first I see that's trash is the Grunfeld. I don't like to hate the Grunfeld because I'm French, and there's this guy that's like a French grandmaster, like MVL, and he plays it a lot. So like, obviously I really like him, but this opening like is just garbage. First of all, you get no space at all. The opponent has like 3 pawns in the center while you have like 1 fiend ghetto bishop. So it's just the worst modern defense or worst like King's Indian. At that point, just play the King's Indian. Next we got Alkaline's defense. Alright, so Alkaline's defense is equivalent to scientists trying to make like a new sauce flavor and just making the weirdest shit ever just to be creative. You know what I'm saying? That's what it feels like to me. Like just trash. It's just people trying to be creative and different. You know what I'm saying? Like it is not good. It is not a good opening. Alright, next we got, bro, I mean, like, it's called the Bogo Indian. Like, what kind of name is that? It might as well be called the Bozo Indian. Like, I don't even know what that opening is, and I'm putting it in trash just because of the name, bro. Like, nah, you cannot have something called Bogo Indian and expect me to put it in anything higher than trash. Nah, this is trash. Like, damn. Alright, so most of you probably aren't going to agree with this, but I'm going to put the Rui Lopez. Hear me out. The Rui Lopez is such a boring opening. Like, oh my god. Like, the Berlin defense, other defenses, like, everything is goddamn a draw on move 3. Like, these openings are so... This opening is, like, half the variations are draws, and the game is dead right off the bat. Not only that, but you gotta memorize so many lines of theory. Like there's no ideas in the position. It's just theory. Like, bro, openings where like you don't learn the ideas of the position, but you learn the theory are trash. But do not play the Rui Lopez. It's probably, I'm putting it there. It's the worst opening here. All right, so there's the King's Fianchetto opening. I don't really know what this is, but I'm going to assume it's like a King's Indian, but you start with fianchetting the bishop, and then you go from there. You don't really play d6 or knight f6. Based on that assumption, it's just a worse King's Indian. Alright, I'm pretty sure that's it for the trash tier. Yeah, that's probably it. Alright, I'm going to do the old Benoni. If white just plays d5, they're going to have way more space. They can just play c4 and e4 to reinforce that pawn. And then, like, you're never getting rid of that center. And then you're going to have way less space for the rest of the game. I was tempted to put this in trash, but, like, most people don't really know what to do. It's kind of like a trick opening, you know what I'm saying? Like, most people don't know what to do, so they'll mess up or something. So, I say... It ain't trash. It's better than the ones at the bottom, but it ain't great. Like, I wouldn't play this. Next we got the... let me find one. We got the Slav defense. So, the thing about the Slav defense, it's not inherently bad, but it's just way too solid. Like, every time I see someone who says, oh... I want to be solid, like their playstyle is solid, like they're trash. Like you gotta stop wanting to play solid, and you gotta want to start like playing with like you gotta stop wanting to play solid, and you gotta start playing for space and like attacks. Like Even if you're not aggressive, try to get space, bro. That's how you win games. Like, being solid is not gonna win you games. So Slav is too solid, too boring, too trash, bro. Next we got the ready opening. Shit, the ready's it's kind of like the same as the alkaline's defense, but it's like better because the alkaline's defense, like, the thing about the alkaline's defense is that you're doing that with the black pieces. So the black, like, you're making a weird move with the. So the thing about the alkaline's defense is that you're making a weird move with the black pieces. Like, you can't really afford to make some weird moves with the black pieces. But when you're white, you're moving first, so it's like, all right, you make a weird move, but it's fine. Like, you're gonna be able to like make up for it. Like, it ain't bad. It ain't. I wouldn't say it's trash. It's kind of bad, but like, you can always put a pawn on d4 or e4 the move after that, so that's fine, but it ain't trash. But it's like, why not just put a pawn in the center first? Next we got the Petrov defense. So I mean, if you're gonna play knight c6, then just play the goddamn Stafford Gambit. Like, the Petrov is weird. Like, I have not looked into it that much, but I know like barely anyone plays it. I used to play e4, and honestly, like, I almost never got it. I remember like facing it like once or twice, but like barely anyone plays it, and honestly, like, yeah, like, it's just not great. But I do respect it. Like, I wouldn't play it. Actually, it might be going decent because, like, knights playing wait, no, this is knight f6. Playing knight f3, knight c6 is just gonna lead straight into what white is used to. I'm gonna put it in decent, actually. I'm gonna put it in decent because it's literally like, white is not gonna be used to it. White is, if you're playing knight so if you're playing knight c6 instead of knight f6, then the main line, if you're playing knight c6 instead of knight f6, the main line, that's exactly what white knows. Like, you don't want to be playing the opponent's theory, you want to be playing your own theory. So yeah, I'm gonna put it in decent. It's decent. Ooh, actually, I did find another one that's in Y. I'm gonna put the French defense. The French defense, although it's super popular, it's just like kind of mid. It's kind of trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just the worst Caro Con. The French defense, like, first of all, at the like beginner, intermediate, and even like advanced level, like, there's two main variations. There's the advanced and the exchange. The advanced, like, white can maintain an advantage like very easily because your light squared bishop is gonna be, there's no way to get it out. It's gonna be stuck the whole game. And the exchange is like, it's more boring than the Ruy Lopez. Like, the exchange kills the game. I swear, if you're white and you play e4 and you play the exchange, like, please go and die. Go in a hole. Never come out. Do not talk to anyone. You already don't talk to anyone. You got no friends. You got no bitches. But please show up. Stop playing that. But yeah, French is just like not great. Like, it's very hard to get like an advantage as black using the French defense. Next we got the alright, so I think that was it for Y. So I think now we're gonna stay to indecent. There's gonna be a lot indecent. Alright, next on decent, I'm gonna put in the birds opening. Alright, so the birds opening is kind of weird because it's kind of like a trick opening, which isn't necessarily bad, but it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying, like, most people don't know what to do against it. That's kind of the trick, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like its main strength is that people don't really know what to do against it. Like, I swear, I've never seen a person have prep against the birds opening, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, I'm pretty sure it's pretty easy to like get an advantage as black as long as you're playing like good moves, or at least equalize, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's decent, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you know the theory, you can definitely catch some people off guard, and even if like they're playing like solid, you know, decent moves, like, if you know the theory, you're obviously gonna have an advantage over them. And also, you're playing as white, so playing a bit of a weird opening is fine. So I feel like it's a decent opening, you know what I'm saying? decent. Although, I mean, it just like F4 is just kind of a weird move. That's why it's not higher. That's why it's decent. Alright, next in decent, we have... Alright, next, I'm going to put the Dutch defense. Huh. Alright, next, I'm going to put the King's Gambit. So, the King's Gambit is also a trick opening, but this is more like an actual trick. But the thing is, people know what to do against it. Like, it's a pretty famous opening. People know what to do. So, it's E4, E5, F4. Which is like, I mean, it just ain't great. It just ain't great. Like, you're weakening your king side a lot. And there's a lot of lines to learn. And that's the thing about the King's Gambit is, like, it's so dangerous that you gotta really know what you're doing. Like, if you take something like, I don't know, the Slav or... if you take, like, the Birds opening, the thing about the Birds opening is that it's, like, you don't need to know that much theory. You just need to, like, know the ideas, and then you'll be fine. But the King's Gambit, you need to know the theory. But at the same time, if you do know the theory, if you do actually know the theory, like, it can become such a dangerous weapon, bro. Like, you can get so many people because there's so many attacking possibilities and chances. But the thing is, it's just too dangerous, too much to learn. There's better options. It's decent. Like, some people, like, I've heard of someone that got the Grandmaster using the King's Gambit primarily. So, like, if you learn your stuff, it can become a very good weapon. But, I mean, there's just better options. Next, we got the Sicilian defense. Alright, so the Sicilian, the reason why I'm putting it at Y is just like the Ruy Lopez, there's a lot of theory to learn. Actually. Alright, next is going to be the Sicilian defense. Alright, Sicilian defense is very similar to Ruy Lopez in terms of, like, how much theory you gotta learn. Maybe even more. Probably more. I would say definitely more, actually. Like, there's so much goddamn theory. This is the most theory-packed opening. Oh my god. I remember I saw, like, some Anish Giri talking about it. He talked on for, like, 30 minutes. And then he was, like, at, like, lightning speed. He talked on at, like, lightning speed for 30 minutes. And then he was like, oh, I mean... that's just, like, a brief description. I mean, that's just, like, a few lines, you know, just to, like, get you a sense of how it is. Like, brother, you talked for 60 minutes. Like, huh? What do you mean a bit of a glimpse or something like that? I'm like, what? Like, bruh, that should be the whole opening. 30 minutes? That's the whole opening, bruh. Like, damn. Anyways, Sicilian has a lot of theory, but the reason it's 2 levels ahead of Ruy Lopez is because, honestly, I don't know. Actually, let me gather my thoughts. But the reason it's indecent and not any lower is because, like, you can get some pretty good positions. And also, a lot of people who play E4 don't know what to do against it, like, surprisingly. Even if they do know what to do against, like, the French defense and the Caro-Kann and stuff like that, like, they usually won't even, like, they'll just know the open Sicilian and that's it. Like, I'm like, huh? Like, brother, that's the, like, second most popular response. You need to know what to do. So, like, you can definitely catch some people off guard. But at the same time, I feel like the Alpin kind of destroys it. I mean, you have to learn the Alpin, how to go against it. Like, that's a lot of theory as well. Like, but, like, you can get some good attacking chances with this Sicilian. It's not boring. It's a very sharp opening, which is why, like, if you do learn your theory, like, you're going to have a lot of chances, just like the King's Gambit. Alright, next in decent. I'm put the Dutch defense. The Dutch defense is just like the Birds opening. Like, if you think about it, Dutch defense is exactly like the Birds opening. First of all, it's F4 and F5, but that's not what I meant. Like, it's just an opening that it's honestly worse than the Birds opening, but it's not in Y. because it's still decent. It's still decent, but it's like, let me put it this way. It's just like the birds opening in every way. Just like it's kind of a weird setup, you know what I'm saying? But and people don't really know what to do against it, but they know what to do against it more than people playing against the birds opening. And I have a theory that the reason for that is that people who play D4 are more prepared for like versatile responses than people who play E4. Because when you play E4, there are so many possible responses that like you just give up right away. But when you play D4, you're like, there's not that many. Let me like try to learn all of them. You know what I'm saying? So you're more ready. Next, we got the Nimzo Indian defense. I mean, that Nimzo is kind of like, I've heard a lot of people say like don't play the Nimzo because it's a lot of theory. But in my opinion, like if you learn the ideas and a bit of theory, you'll be fine. But I feel like there are better responses to D4. I mean, Nimzo Indian, I don't know much about it, but from what I've heard, it's bad. But from what I know myself, which is not that much, but from what I think I know, then it's pretty good. So I'm going to put it in between. I'm going to put it at decent. That's my logic. That's my $1 million logic. Alright, so the Nimzo Indian, as I was saying, like I hear it's a lot of theory. I hear some pretty bad stuff about it, but like it can be good. It can be good. From what I know, it can be good. But I personally believe there are some better responses. Alright, I'm pretty sure that's it for the decent. Next we go into respectable. Respectable, like if you play these openings, I respect you, you know? Like that's a good opening. I agree. That was dumb, bro. I don't know why I said it like that. Anyways, first up, surprisingly, we got the Grob. Bro, you guys do not understand the Grob, the power of the Grob. Like I'm not even being sarcastic right now. I ain't even being sarcastic. So the Grob, like, you know, they play G4, you know, black, and you're like, huh? Then you put on your glasses, and you're like, alright, bro, this bleeper kind of trash. And then you like, you start going sweaty mode. You start being like, oh, time to destroy this weirdo. This man has been doing some unethical moves in the opening, and I will be able to exploit that. And then you just like play a few more moves, and then he fiend counters his bishop, and then he traps your rook, and you just like a million things happen, and you just get destroyed. Like I swear, every time I play the Grob, I lose. I don't know what it is with the Grob, but like, bruh, it's too good. I don't want to put it in S tier because I feel like it can be refuted like very easily. But just people don't know it. Like, why would you learn to play against the Grob? That's what I'm saying. Like, why would anyone learn it? So like, if you play the Grob, like, I feel like you either get destroyed like 20% of the time, or you destroy them like 80% of the time. So it's a surefire way to gain elo. I won't put it in S tier though. Like, it's respectable. It's respectable. Next, we got the Italian game. So the Italian game is just a respectable opening. Like, it's just the most basic opening, you know what I'm saying? Like, everyone knows, like, it's a good opening. But the thing is, like, if you play the Italian, I mean, you probably learned chess from like your grandpa, and he was like, alright, play this. Or you learned chess, you saw like a video about the fried liver, and you're like, ooh, and then you like got better at chess, and then you realize, alright, the fried liver kind of ass now, and then you were like, alright, but I still know these positions with the Italian, so I'm gonna keep playing the Italian. And it's decent. Like, I wasn't in phase where I played the Italian, and I wasn't getting great results, but it's still a good opening. Like, I put it in respectable. Next, we got the Scandinavian defense. The Scandinavian defense is good. Like, you you get your queen out. Like if you learn some theory, you learn to like get your queen out, and then you move it to like it gets attacked. You move it to like a safe square. Then you castle queenside, and you can launch attacks. Like if you love attacking games, it's probably good for you because you. My bad. Your queen is gonna be very active. You're gonna have opposite side castling a lot of the time, so that usually leads to attacks. So like you gotta know what you're doing with attacks. If you learn to like attack well, then this is gonna be like a very good opening for you. Next we have, I'm gonna put the Queen's Gambit. All right, so the Queen's Gambit is very good. Like it's d4, then c4. Weakness on the queen side, we don't care because the king's on the king side. So like queen side, we don't care about that because if your king's not weak, then you're not really in much trouble. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a better King's Gambit. But the problem is, like, if you want to get really good at it, there's gonna be a lot of theory to memorize. You know what I'm saying? Like it's still very good. Like it's played at every level, like, well. I would actually say if you're a beginner, don't play that yet. I mean, if you're a beginner, I wouldn't play really any openings. I would just try to get my like pieces in the center. But like I would say it's kind of hard to understand. Even if you're like intermediate as well, it's kind of hard to understand. So I would not recommend this if you're like under like 1400. But if you're above that, like it's a very good opening. Like I would play that, but just know it's gonna be like a lot of studying it. Yeah, I think that's it for respectable. So now we got S tier. This is the best openings. Alright. So I'm gonna start out with two openings that I have on here, but I'm pretty sure they're the same thing. It's the Pirk's defense and the King's Indian defense. I don't see how they're different at all. I'll just remove Pirk's and put King's Indian. I think the difference is like King's Indian, you play knight f6 first, and Pirk's you play d6 first. But Pirk's if you play d6, you don't have to play the King's Indian. You know what I'm saying? Like you can just play d6 and then play like, you can just like play like anything else. Though it's usually gonna be King's Indian, which is why I put them together. But if you play d6 and then you play like e6 and you like feign kiddo or something, oh, I didn't think about that. I didn't think about them being separate openings, but just Pirk's like this. I'm gonna put it yeah, C tier. Like it can work, but you're gonna be very passive, and then it's not trash, but you're gonna be very passive. You're gonna catch some people off guard, but you're still gonna have like barely any space. Like it's gonna be weird positions to play. Like why would you play that? You know what I'm saying? Alright. Anyways, we move to S tier. We move to S tier. Goddamn, go back to S tier. Alright, so we got the King's Indian defense. King's Indian is very, very good. A lot of people think when you play the King's Indian, it's gonna be very passive, but they are wrong. Right? They are wrong. The King's Indian can be aggressive, can be passive. You can get a bunch of space, bro. If you play right, like you're going to push for c5, you're going to push for e5, mostly c5, and your king's going to be very safe. You have like you don't have any theory to learn. You just have to learn the ideas. That's what I love. That's the best thing about the openings is like you don't have to learn theory. You have to learn ideas. You know what I'm saying? All right. Next we have the Scotch game. Holy crap, the Scotch game is the most underrated opening ever. I never hear anyone talk about the Scotch game, bruh. If you're gonna play e4, stop playing the Ruy Lopez. Don't even play the Italian, bruh. Play the goddamn Scotch game. The Scotch game is so good. You get so much space right off the bat. You get so much space. And then you can trap. If you're a beginner, this is super easy to learn, and there's a bunch of like beginner traps, bruh. This is like, it's so good. Like you have to learn a bit of theory, you have to learn the ideas, and you're gonna get so many good positions for the middle game, bruh. Like, this is such a good opening. All right, next we have The Khan. The Khan is the best response to E4 by far. Like, I'm excited ever since I learned the Khan. I want them to play E4. I want to be black and I want them to play E4 against me because I know the Khan is so goddamn good. The Khan is solid and aggressive and space taking all at the same time. It is so good. The advanced Caro is just an advanced French, but your bishop is not stuck. So it's like it's like a French defense, but on steroids. Like, it's goddamn amazing. The exchange Caro is not boring. The game is not dead because your e-pawn is not gone, bruh. So you still got both center pawns, but I'm telling you, the Khan is so goddamn good. If you don't know what to do against e4, play the Khan. But bro, be careful. Do not play the Slav. The Slav is c6 when they play d4. Nah. That's not the Khan. That's the Slav, bruh. Khan is only when they play e4. All right, bruh. I hate when people do this. Like, I remember I saw a video, little clip, and it was like, oh, me practicing how to play the Italian, but the opponent was doing a goddamn French defense. I was like, bro, this ain't no Italian. He has to play e5 for it to be an Italian. Like, damn. Alright, now we got the next two. We got the English opening, the English game. So the English is just a way better birds opening. It's just a better birds opening, because the thing about the birds opening is that people don't know what to do. Yes, I know I've said that a million times, but you get into some weird positions and black can take advantage if they play smart moves. But the English opening, like, even if they play smart moves, you can, if you know your stuff, you can keep an advantage. And most of the time, they ain't gonna be playing smart moves, so you can get an even bigger advantage. Like, the English opening is just like an opening where people don't know what to do against it, and it's still like you don't place a weird line. I don't know why people don't know what to do against it. I mean, of course I know, because it's supposed to be principle to put pawns in the center, but a pawn on c4 controls the center just as much as a pawn on d4. Yeah, so it's still just as good. It's just as good as d4 and e4, and people just don't know what to do against it. And the problem with f4, you might say, oh, f4 also controls the center, but f4 significantly weakens your king, bruh. So it's just like way better. It's just a better birds, bruh. Like, if you want to be different, you don't want to like people to know what you're doing. Like, the English is very good. Although there is some theory. There's a decent amount of theory on there. Like, but it's not too bad. But like, learning a bit of theory is fine. But honestly, like, it's probably more theory than the sketch, but it's still fine, bruh. Alright, next we got my favorite opening of all time, which I recently started playing, and I love it. We got the London system, of course, but like, you already know this is S tier. Like, even before clicking this video, you already knew this was gonna be S tier. But this is S, triple S, quadruple S tier. This is the best opening ever. This has basically no theory to learn. You just gotta learn the ideas, a bit of theory. There's a bunch of traps for you little trap geeks, for you trap lovers. There's so many traps, bro. That's actually amazing. You get such good attacking positions, bro. If they castle kingside, like, bro, you will kill them. If they castle queenside, you will kill them. Like, bro, you get such good positions in a middle game. Like, if you just rack up experience, learn a bit of theory, and learn the positional ideas, which is not that hard, bro, like, you will become a demon. London system is so goddamn good. Like, oh my god. Alright, that was it for the video. If you enjoyed, drop a like, follow, and check out my Twitch, and subscribe. See ya.